Welcome to Unews for this Monday, July 29th. I'm Andrea Linares. We begin today with a deadly mass shooting at a popular food festival in Gilroy, California, near San Francisco. And here's what we know so far. Police say the 19-year-old suspect killed 3 people, including a 6-year-old boy. At least 15 others were hurt. 2 local hospitals say the victims with gunshot wounds vary from fair to critical. Other festival goers were treated for non-related gunshot injuries. Within minutes, the suspected was shot and then killed by police, but authorities believe there may be an accomplice. Lorraine Cáceres has more details on this.
Say the shooter was randomly targeting people. One witness says after the first shot, the suspect seemed scared, tried to leave, and then turned around right back again and continued the rampage. CNN reports an Instagram account bearing the suspect's name was created 4 days ago. The account posted 2 messages shortly before the attacks, including a reference to a white supremacist text. Andrea, back to you.
So sad to see this going on in our country. Thanks so much, Lorraine, for that report. And now to the latest Twitter controversy involving President Trump. The president drawing criticism over his comments about Congressman Elijah Cummings and his district, Baltimore, Maryland. Critics are condemning Trump's comments as racist. With the African American community doesn't stop here. Today, the president launched a series of tweets against Reverend Al Sharpton. Trump called him a con man, a troublemaker that's always looking for a score. And this weekend, another shakeup in the Trump administration. Former Senator Dan Coats will step down as National Intelligence Director on August 15th. President Trump announcing the departure in a tweet on Sunday. Pedro Rojas is live from the White House with the very latest. And coming up next, Lori Loughlin. And welcome back to Unews. There are new developments in the long-running college admissions bribery scandal. We're learning that actress Lori Loughlin and her husband are sticking together in their legal fight, presenting a, quote, united front in their defense, despite conflict of interest concerns. Mike Interiano has the story.
Loughlin's daughters were enrolled at USC when the scandal was exposed. The indictment says they were admitted as part of the rowing team while having no involvement in the sport. The girls are no longer attending USC. Overnight, as their daughter, social media influencer Olivia Jade, has not posted since the scandal. She's reportedly taking some time off social media. Andrea, back to you.
Mikey, thanks so much for that report. U.S. women's national soccer team star Megan Rapinoe is fighting for equal pay for female soccer players. A lawsuit by members of the women's team filed against U.S. Soccer in March says women that play in the same number of games as men's national team members are paid nearly 40% less than men. Before Sunday's Seattle Reign game in Tacoma, Rapinoe sat down with U.S. Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell to discuss that wage gap. Many of the child migrants caught in limbo at the southern border are missing out on common childhood experiences like going to school. But an innovative program in Tijuana, Mexico is using a school bus to try to give kids access to schooling while their families wait for asylum appointments. Noel Lapoon has more details. After the break, body cam footage. Welcome back to Unews. 2 American teenagers are in police custody this morning in Rome, accused of killing an Italian police officer. That officer's funeral held today as family, friends, colleagues, and community members gathered to mourn his loss. Rafael Rodriguez has the story. Authorities have released body cam footage of an exchange of gunfire between police and an Arkansas man accused of threatening people with a gun. An officer was hospitalized after getting wounded in that exchange, and the gunman is still in critical condition. Ivan Taylor has more. Also in Arkansas, one of the shooters who committed a 1998 school shooting in the Jonesboro area died in a car crash Saturday night. Drew Grant of the country and snakes on a plane? Well, there's another place you don't want a snake, your hotel room. A woman says she woke up with a snake on her arm while staying in Memphis. Mariti Marangi has more on her terrifying encounter. Meanwhile, in Nevada, check this out. A migration of mild-mannered grasshoppers sweeping through the Las Vegas area is being attributed to some major critic of the Kremlin. Mexican filmmaker Guillermo del Toro brought his monsters back to his hometown for the first time, an exhibit that included scores of objects, figures, and drawings that inspired his films. But as the exhibition came to a close, Del Toro had another surprise up his sleeve. Ricardo Arambari has the story. When we come back, listen to this, a new and history being made in the gaming world. But first, the hospital is turning to technology to increase safety and security in the maternity ward. Annabelle Sedano has your tech report today. Annabelle.
Hi there, that's right, and we begin your tech news with this. One of the first things a hospital does. I'm Annabelle Sedano, and that was your daily dose of tech news. Have a good one, guys.
Doctors are concerned that teens who use e-cigarettes are exhibiting symptoms of extreme addiction. Some medical experts in Boston and New York say they are seeing what they think is a result of repeated exposure to high levels of nicotine. With us to discuss vaping, and it's time to check in with Carolina Sarasa. She has a preview of what's coming up during the second hour of Unews today. Caro, what do you have for us? And happy Monday.
Thank you, Andrea, and happy Monday to you as well. And we have a number of stories coming up. Over the weekend in Florida, 2 separate shark attacks. One of them even captured on camera. We have details on how the victims are now doing. And in Mexico City, a special event like you have never seen before. We will take you inside a narco jewelry auction and explain why the Mexican government decided to take this very unusual step. And the Tour de France has crowned a new winner, a cyclist from Colombia. We will bring you his story and explain why this win was so historic. Andrea, now back to you.
Thank you, Caro. We'll be waiting for you as always. But first, coming up next on Unews. And welcome back to Unews. Sometimes you just have to keep doing what you love and be in the right place at the right time. And that's what one Venezuelan singer learned while struggling to cope with life on the streets of Bogotá, Colombia. Michelle Jurado has a story about an encounter that may now change his life forever. He got goosebumps listening to this story, and he's probably thinking, pinch me, is this real? But it really, really is real. And now, moving on, a 5-year-old from Chicago is being called a hero. Jaden Espinosa was at his aunt's apartment for a sleepover when all of a sudden a fire broke out, and all this happened on Saturday night. His quick thinking rescued everyone inside that apartment, including his 2 sisters. But let's listen to his own account of the events. Officials say the blaze might have been caused by a cigarette. And finally, a Houston woman is celebrating her 110th birthday. Francis, she must be enjoying life watching her family continue growing. And that's all the time that we have for the first hour of Unews. I'm Andrea Linares. Stay tuned for the second hour. We have much more information coming up next.